there's like this kookaburra that hangs near my house, and you know, my family likes to believe that it's like my grandmother's spirit.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So like when I was getting my bike out today, because I rode here, the like kookaburra was sitting on the fence and just staring at me, and I was in this really strange part of my yard where like it's kind of hard to just fly to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's really nice to like, I don't know, if you don't believe in that, or you like, it's just like fun to visualize those things and think about those things.
Mm. It makes life a little bit more interesting.
Yeah. Why can't there be spirits?
Mm.
Why can't there be energies?
That's true.
Yeah. Hi, my name is Lydia, and I study interactive and visual design at QUT, and my biggest passion is definitely designing for people who maybe need the guidance more than other people. I really want to design for younger children who sometimes miss out on some things through circumstances that they can't control.
How do you feel about being here today?
Really comfortable and really honoured that I am allowed to collaborate with everyone here and just really speak my mind. When you're not yourself, you honestly, even if you portray a happiness, you're not really happy and you're not really operating to your full potential. If you pretend to like something, or if you pretend to be something you're not, just imagine how beautiful it would be if you really are yourself. Definitely my passion. I like to think of myself as a very caring person as well. And just someone who really wants to make a change. I think it's hard just because of the society that we're brought up in. It's something that you're constantly conditioned ever since you're a child to like certain things or be a certain thing. So it's really hard to kind of undo those years and years of work. Not caring about anyone else. Even if you know maybe you don't look amazing that day and you know maybe you didn't sleep very well. If you start thinking about what other people are thinking, then they're probably going to notice. So unconditional self-love is eliminating that altogether and just accepting yourself. Definitely, I make time for myself. I meditate. I do yoga, which is very important. It changed my life. And finding a hobby that you really love. Gardening, collecting, drawing, painting.
What, when you think of loving yourself unconditionally, what reactions do you have?
Unconditional love is accepting every small thing about yourself and even embracing it and showcasing it. Just truly being inspired by yourself as well, I find really important. My body is a good place to be because it's also where I find comfort. Within myself and within my own mind, no matter how crazy the world is around me, I know that I'll be able to find solace and comfort.
What's your favourite thing about your body and your least favourite thing?
I have lots of favourite things about my body, and that took time to love, but I love like my arms.
You can list all of them.
I'm going to list them all. I love my arms, I love my feet, my legs, I love my belly, my bum is amazing, in my opinion. I really love my eyes. That's always been ever since I was a kid, ever since I went through my insecurities, I always loved my eyes. What I don't really love, maybe my posture, to be really superficial. My story, so I went through high school not really loving myself and kind of taking that out on other people. I remember in grade 8 and 9 just hating everyone with no real reason, not even knowing who they are, just outright hating them. And I remember being very vocal about that, and I look back and I just cringe now. And even onto my later years of high school, I probably wasn't the nicest person, and whether that was because I was trying to hide something, or the stress of high school was getting to me, but it's really something that in the past few years I've really tried to work on and change. And not changing like, let's just start doing something, truly like working on the issues, and just see, like, now whenever I approach someone, I just approach them with open arms and such an open mind, because I just have to remind myself about the unhappiness that I had in my high school years and growing up, and just how I was in control of that and I could have changed that, and I am. I can't really pinpoint where it came from. It wasn't exactly like I was unhappy with my body. I think it was I was unhappy with my social skills. Came from probably having like mild autism as a child, I think. That's what it was. And it slowly just kind of like snowballed into this, okay, I don't know how to deal with these emotions and this uncertainty, so I'm just going to take it out myself and take it out on other people. So that's another thing I'm really passionate about, is children who are growing up with autism or Asperger's. There's all sorts of companies that think they're changing the world by just treating it and kind of trying to get rid of it, curing autism. Whereas I think people should be told to accept themselves and learn how to deal with those issues and learn how to kind of move past them. Focusing on the children more than the like people surrounding them that are sometimes hurt by their words or their actions. Yeah. So as an older like teen, that social awkwardness came in like my uncertainty of friendships, and like just my uncertainty of myself. Like, am I acting right? Am I looking right? Like, am I reacting to this right? My emotions. Yeah, it was just a really confusing time. There is this like horrible stigma around mental illness. I know, especially within myself, I do recognise that I do deal with mental illness struggles that go back to the like uncertainties, and I tend to hide them for no real reason. But I feel like I was kind of raised to be kind of ashamed of mental illness, and to kind of like, my parents threw around the word crazy or things like that a lot, which kind of really affected me in a way, I think, where I went, okay, you're acting crazy, so just try to hide that. Like, my parents weren't awful people, they're lovely people, but I was always had that like scared that they were going to be ashamed of me. So I think that's something that as a society we need to work on, that it's not something to be ashamed by, and it's not something to hide. Removing that stigma that sometimes you don't even realise you perpetuate. You call someone OCD, it's a big one, because they like things neat. You call someone psychotic because maybe they were a bit jealous about something, or maybe they just acted out. Yeah, call someone depressed because maybe they're not sad. It really affects people. You never know what they're dealing with, and you never know how your words are affecting them in that way. Recently, I've decided to become much more comfortable with my like natural skin. I actually recently shaved. I'm starting to grow like just my body hair out. I'm so much more comfortable that way. It's just like how your natural body is. Yeah, so that trying to be that certain person and trying to just all look the same, you see it a lot perpetuated by young children. On YouTube you get all the beauty gurus who are about 13 and they think that they think that they're just like, they are really beautiful people and they are very intelligent people, but they tend to kind of buy into this thing that it's kind of being fed to us by these adults that know better. Yeah. Beauty standards kind of create this faux authenticity that especially people try to look a certain way, and maybe some people do look that way. So it's this kind of like, I don't want to say fakeness, it sounds a bit cliche, but definitely a kind of fakeness that just really negatively affects who we are and how we feel about ourselves. I think around the time where I realised that I was being a very, really negative person, that self-awareness came, and then I think I was trying to look for other ways that I could kind of move that energy, that negative energy, into something more positive. So I just became drawn to crystals. I want to start talking about. Yeah, definitely like finding crystals for me, whether you believe in them or not, or whether you think that they really do have kind of these auras around them. It definitely was something that just allowed me to express this energy within myself into something very positive, and that kind of developed into, I started reading tarot cards, I started looking into scrying, and that kind of snowballed into, now I'm looking at spell casting, now I'm looking at reading people's auras, now I'm looking at the concepts of liminal spaces and the passing of different universes. What I was saying before about like finding a hobby, that was kind of my hobby, and just the energy that it's given me back that I put into it has been really amazing and just positive. And if you can find something like that, it doesn't have to be something magical, doesn't have to be something spiritual, it can just be playing a guitar. It's energy that you put into it, and it gives back positive energy in the form of music. Just dancing as hard as you can is just, it's so much of like, it's such an easier way. It can even be, if you think that you don't have any form of talent, maybe cut up some magazines, make some collage, upholster furniture, just anything, like things like that just absorbs so much negative energy and just gives back such a positive energy. And it's so important to keep yourself busy in a way and not let things sit. Yeah. I don't know, I started to come into this thing that like, I started questioning my like sexuality and my gender, so I'm coming up to like, I really love girls, but I don't really want sex, so I'm like, I'm okay with that, I'm starting to be okay with that, like, that's something that I love about myself almost. Yeah, stuff like that. There was definitely a moment where I realised that I'm more than what everyone sees me, or thinks about me, or says about me, or even just assumes about me. Maybe they see me and they think something or they say something, and that I should always put myself first. Going back to like when I was younger, I would always try to like be something for like boys and men, and it never made me happy. It made me so uncomfortable all the time, up until I was 18 and I was going to the Valley and I was trying to be this like cute sexy girl who would like dance with you and stuff and buy me a drink, and like I guess it was like fun, but I just like, it just played on my mind that I was like just so bored and just like not even amused by people trying to get my attention or trying to talk to me, trying to buy me drinks. Go away. Like I can buy my own drinks. Yeah, like I'm so grateful for where I am right now, just being able to realise these things about myself and accept them.